Hi, my name is Raj Chetta, and welcome to the first official audio review for Crimson Artists Reviews. On my right is Stephen Murdoch. Say hi.
Hey, what's up?
And in front of me,
it's Sachin. Nice to talk to you guys.
And today we're going to be reviewing the Ultimate Edition for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, directed by David S. Goyer.
Directed by Zack Snyder and written by David S. Goyer.
Yeah, but it feels like it is directed by David S. Goyer because of his shitty writing. As you can tell, I'm not a huge fan of David S. Goyer. I think he has certainly lost his touch since 2008's The Dark Knight. That was his last good movie. But
Though I thought Black Ops 2 was kind of okay. It had its moments.
Yeah, but that's a game. This is a movie. There's a difference.
Good video game writing is miles away from good movie writing. You know
But the same thing would be for something like, say, Mass Effect or The Witcher or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, but those are examples of, exemplary,
All right.
Okay. So we literally just finished watching the Ultimate Edition. It's currently fresh in our minds, but before we discuss what we actually officially thought about the Ultimate Edition, what did we all think of the theatrical release that came out 3 months ago? Let's start off with Steve. What did you think of the theatrical cut? Without any giving out any hints to the Ultimate, just what did you think of the?
Well, I saw it three times during that time, and I'm just gonna say it. It was kind of a mixed bag. Other times, it definitely had some interesting stuff going for it, and some things I liked, like the music, the action scenes, the visuals, and everything like that. But then other times, I'm like, who put this mess together? Like, when I first saw it, I really did feel like I hated the movie. I didn't like it at all. But when I saw it a second time, I started to warm up to it. Not by a lot. No, it's still a huge, sorry for swearing, clusterfuck. But for the most part, it still definitely wasn't as bad as my first viewing of it.
All right. What did you think of it? You saw it once.
Yeah, so I saw the theatrical version once, and I came out of it pretty negative. Like my buddy over here, I didn't hate it per se, but it left a sour taste in my mouth. At times, watching it felt like a chore. It felt very weirdly paced. It had action, and then moments where the action is completely away from it, and then it goes right back into the action. It doesn't. It's the story, the pacing.
It's kind of like Transformers, where it has one important thing, but then just quickly it goes off to padding or whatever, and then just goes back and forth and so forth.
Exactly, and then once again, Snyder and I mentioned this, the destruction porn, where he just loves to see things blow up. Obviously the fight scenes are amazing, and the theatrical version definitely still has that. So, yeah.
Okay, so for me, it was definitely like all y'all. It's a definite mixed bag. It's a beautiful, really defined, well-defined, well-shot mess. It is a messy film from its writing, the direction, the overall editing. The cinematography is great. The performances were on point. What they were given. But the feel of it, like what you said, it felt like a chore to sit through. And it's a shame because these are characters we all grew up with since we were practically born.
Yeah.
It's Batman and Superman. Don't you want to make a movie, a good one, featuring these icons? They're not just characters anymore. They're literal icons. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And I saw the movie 3 times in the cinema because I really wanted to give this movie a chance. I didn't want to be that kind of guy that fuck DC, I'm just gonna watch Marvel. But
I mean, even so, it almost feels like it's become cool to dislike Batman versus Superman,
or just DC in general.
Yeah, but
But
That doesn't take away from the fact that the movie is a mess.
It's
you know
a
what
mess,
I mean?
yeah.
And
You
many
can't-
parts, it looks like it really was just trying to catch up to Marvel. I mean, all those Easter eggs to later installments, even though we're not even sure whether or not this movie will actually do well at the box office. Because from what I heard, it had a 68% drop after its first weekend or whatever.
And like, I know that DC is literally trying to play catch up with this movie in general. I'm not seeing that with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad looks like it's going to be its own official success.
And thank God they're actually having fun with it.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like they're,
Looking
it looks
like dark and brooding like the 90s or something.
Yeah, but with this film, like I can see what they're trying to go for in certain areas, but it just didn't necessarily click well. Especially that one Martha moment. If you like, everybody knows the Martha. moment.
Martha!
That I can see what they were trying to do. I understand, but the execution just like it might have been cool on paper.
Yeah.
But visually, it just does not work. If that scene, like, replace the whole Martha bullshit with Bruce visualizing himself as the man who's holding the gun at his parents, that would have made things a lot much more
Because
powerful.
it looks like he became what he was trying so hard to fight.
And
He didn't
Superman
have to
would-
even say Martha. He could have just said my mother. And that's
Exactly.
the same exact thing. You know, I'm killing someone's son. I'm taking away this life. It doesn't have to be, oh, Martha. That's too on the nose, but then at the same time, it pushes away what it really means. Just
And not
because of
only
the way-
that, but the scene that follows after is it looks like, okay, I'll work with you. If it was
Yeah.
with the other one, then maybe it might work. But with the Martha one, it's like, you and I are now best friends. I will now help and go save your mother. I'm like, what? He spent like the entire, like, over a year, like, trying to bring him down and stuff. And suddenly you're okay with him?
Let's not forget to mention that this movie has way too. If I thought Amazing Spider-Man 2 was crammed, this movie has not one, not two, not three, but a bunch of other storylines from the comics put to the big screen. I mean, yes, these are cool storylines. We all love it. If you're a comic book lover, you're going to squeal with joy seeing these comic book moments come to life. But the execution, trying to piece them together, Goyer and Snyder they don't
get it.
Yeah.
They don't get
And if you're
what
wondering
made
what
those
some of
moments.
the major stories are, some of the examples are The Dark Knight Returns, obviously from some of the trailers, Batman versus Superman,
which is Dark Knight Returns.
yeah, sorry, and
The death of Superman.
yeah, spoilers for those who haven't seen it, but it's July at this point. I don't think
Anybody cares at this point. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody cares about the stupid spoilers for this.
Yeah, I think some people wouldn't really care if there were spoilers for Ghostbusters anyway.
Whatever.
All right, but yeah, they were trying to cram so many stories when just Batman versus Superman would have been more than enough.
And they literally shot them. In my personal opinion, they shot themselves in the foot the moment they announced Batman v Superman. They should have made another standalone Superman movie, then a Batman movie, and then this movie. Like a movie where they come together and then they made a Justice League movie. But no, we need to catch up with Marvel because they're raking the numbers. They're stealing our show. They don't need to do that. And
Right.
apparently Suicide Squad is going to be the one movie where, hey, you know what? We don't need to have this stupid battle between Marvel and DC. They're both fine. I love Marvel and DC. I don't want to see this pointless battle between these two iconic studios. It's stupid.
Indeed. And when Civil War came out, I'm sorry if it looks like I'm careening off a little bit, but essentially, it really does feel like kind of the same movie in some parts, but just done a little bit better. Like, there was a better motivation for why Iron Man kind of attacked Captain America and other things like that. There's a better motivation for the villain and much more. It was essentially, this is Batman versus Superman done right.
Basically, like, and what's really weird is that when I saw the movie the second time, I kind of said to myself, why does this feel so familiar? Why am I, like, this is just driving me nuts. Then I realized this is basically DC's Iron Man 2.
Right.
It's literally DC's Iron Man 2. So much shit crammed into that movie. And yet, for some reason, I'm not trying to pull in the idea that, critics really love Marvel. So like the whole theory that
Sure, it looked like movies like, say, Thor: The Dark World and other things like that weren't exactly received that well. They were just kind of okay at best.
but they still got fresh ratings. It's like, I'm not gonna go into that, but it's kind of weird having to see, like, okay, Iron Man 2 had way too many characters, way too many plot lines, and overall a CGI mess.
And it goes nowhere.
And it leads to the Avengers, apparently. Right. This movie is basically the same fucking thing, except it's not Iron Man versus Rhodey, it's Batman versus Superman. Ugh, God, like, just thinking about the theatrical version really still... It hurts my brain in many ways you can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Because I really love these characters. And seeing them go through that shit in the cinema, and I saw it 3 times. I like I said, I wanted to give this movie a chance, the best I can. But like after the 3rd viewing, I'm like, okay, I'm fucking done. I'm moving on. Mm-hmm. But overall, those are like my official, and like, if you read my review on. Which is in the description below. Go to my Facebook group page, whatever it's called. I lost touch with what Facebook does anyway. Go to that link, scroll down, you'll see my original review for Dawn of Justice. It's all there, but here are my official updated thoughts. I might tweak the review up a little later if I can. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just not going to care at all whatsoever, because this is practically an already updated review for Dawn of Justice anyway, hence the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
So, where did he go? Okay. Apparently Steve had to leave off somewhere. He'll be back.
Why don't we talk about the Ultimate Edition?
Yeah, let's officially talk about the Ultimate Edition. Before I give you my initial thoughts... there he is.
I apologize for that.
It's okay. Before I give off my initial thoughts of the Ultimate Edition... Why not, let's start off with what we did not like about the Ultimate Edition. Starting with you, Steve.
I don't know, actually. I mean, for the most part, I was okay with most of it. They explained a lot more things that I like. Okay, yeah, I know it's going through more...
Negative.
Sorry.
It's fine.
I think the thing I didn't like about the Ultimate Cut was there were still some things that I wish they could have actually improved upon or made more sense, or hell, just outright change some scenes, Richard Donner cut style Superman 2. Like just outright change the Martha scene to, like we mentioned before, Batman looking like he pretty much became his parents' killer. That would have been fine. Like, I mean, if in the Richard Donner cut they changed it from Superman giving an amnesia kiss to Lois to the whole spinning the Earth backwards just to reverse time, then just do the same with this. I'm not sure if they actually made the same thing, but you know what I mean. Just change certain scenes around completely, so maybe they might give off a better story. Because there were still some of the really dumb things in this that I just did not like, from the stupid Jolly Rancher thing to some of the silly things by Lex Luthor, which, by the way, again, terrible casting. What drugged person came up with that? Or
his name is Gordon Snyder.
Okay, we get it. You hate him.
So,
what did not like about it?
A lot of the problems with Batman vs. Superman couldn't be solved with a director's cut. To be honest, the movie suffers from a lot of serious fundamental issues that aren't able to just be fixed by adding or removing a few scenes or changing some dialogue. Like, the entire character of Lex Luthor is still trash. The ending of the movie is a hot garbage fire.
Don't you start there.
The ending of the movie is a hot garbage fire. It is a can of trash that is on fire and is just smell and gross and just...
yeah, that scene with the death of Superman, it is done very well, but the problem is I'm sorry for saying it like this, they literally blew their load way too freaking early. Like, if they maybe saved it for, like what you said, if they did the Superman sequel and the Batman standalone film, or if, what I was thinking, they did it in between Justice League Part 1 and Part 2, it would have been a lot more powerful. It would have actually meant something.
But no, we just haven't seen that.
We need to make this movie in order to gain money. So give me your damn cash.
Well, so I disliked is that Superman, he has very little dialogue, and you have very little connection to him as a viewer, as an audience member. You don't feel connected to Superman. You don't really root for him that much, other than the fact that you're supposed to, and he does cool stuff, but you don't have this like deep connection. You don't see his pain and his struggle, because they don't touch on it, because he has like 6 lines of dialogue in the whole
I actually
movie.
got another question. Are you sure you adapted Superman, or did you adapt Cyborg Superman? Because he literally almost shows no emotion throughout the entire film. I mean, except for maybe some scenes, like maybe one smile when he sees was in the bathroom, which, by the way, that was another scene I just found like, wait, what? And when he got angry at Lex Luthor with the whole pictures of his mother. But for the most part, he seems like much more robotic in this one compared to Man of Steel.
Yeah, like, for me, pretty much my initial negative thoughts from the theatrical cut never really changed. It's still the same movie, just pretty much 3 hours longer. Like, while there are moments where stuff were explained here and there are still very gaping moments where, like, wait a minute, weren't you hating on Batman earlier, Clark? I mean, like, you were doing all this crazy ass research on what Batman is, what he's doing. Oh my God, he
thinks he's above the law.
He thinks he's above the law. You had this overall hatred, and then all of a sudden, Bruce, I was wrong. We have to save her, Martha. God damn it!
It's basically the same with the whole Martha making Batman somehow like, oh my God, we have the same. Our mothers have the same name. We're now good friends.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it literally shows. I mean, like, throughout the entire movie, when I was watching the Ultimate Cut, I'm like, okay, yeah, that is definitely a David S. Goyer piece of dialogue, especially from Perry White. Perry White, he was one of my favorite moments in the film overall, because of the dialogue that he has been given.
Right.
But there are moments where, like, okay, that's not Perry White. Perry White would honestly never say shit like that. That would be Goyer talking, because if you haven't read any of the controversial interviews that Goyer has been in prior to the release of Batman v Superman, you would know that he hasn't been,
Martian Manhunter is a stupid name, or She-Hulk should be a porn star, or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
As he put it.
Yeah, like, what he said about Superman in general is that you can't take a character that was created in the late 1930s and take him seriously in today's age. There's a movie called Captain America: The Winter Soldier, you dumbass.
A guy parading around with the American flag fighting bad guys on top of giant flying ships.
Exactly.
Right. I think I hate to get into this Marvel thing, but Captain America is the one character who, growing up, I couldn't care less about. For me, he was just an American flag wearing shield thrower.
I was actually more of an Iron Man guy growing up.
Right, but then the movies...
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, obviously.
Well.
Yep.
And X-Men for me.
But then the movies came out, and you started to feel Captain America actually is a deep character.
And
a lot of people our age really do not like Superman. If you talk to a lot of people who are our age, especially kids who are not into comics as much, they really dislike Superman. They think he's a boring character
and overpowered.
Exactly.
And the interesting thing about Captain America, especially with the movies that came out, he was a better Superman than Superman has been for the last 75 years. That's the sad truth. Captain America is a better Superman than Clark Kent, especially in these freaking movies.
Right.
I felt Superman is supposed to be the symbol of hope, that we aspire to be this, like, hey, if shit goes bad, we need to spread hope, right?
Right.
I got no hope. I felt hopeless with this movie, and that's what the entire intention of what these movies are trying to give out. That, hey, this man from another world, He feels different. He is different. But hey, maybe that's a good thing. We should let that different be a part of us. And maybe that difference should be a symbol of hope. We should feel like we should be united.
Right.
I did not feel united whatsoever. And like what you said, he didn't feel relatable. What Steven said, he was all robotic, completely monotone. Like, where's the smiling symbol of hope? Where is that guy?
And
Where's Christopher Reeves?
And here's the thing that I want to go on for a little bit. I like the video game Injustice and the story behind it, but I'm not sure if it was because of that game or something that happened beforehand. But whoever is writing the storylines for Superman that makes him out to be like this bad guy or whatever, I think they're relying way too much on it.
Especially that nightmare sequence that heavily showcased the evil Superman.
Super cool visual sequence. Like, it's like the movie is full of moments where they just sat around there like, yeah, it would be real cool if he did that. You know, he's a cool guy. It's cool stuff. You know, he's a badass. But then, like, they didn't really think about the implications of what it's really doing, because that scene is kind of useless in the overall frame of the movie.
Yeah, if anything, I think that scene would have, again, made more sense in a later one. Maybe, like, Justice League Part 1.
Then Flash showing up, it doesn't make it, like, yeah, it makes sense if you sit there and you think about
Flash? Don't you mean Iron Flash?
Yeah, I mean,
maybe that was a precursor to Injustice 2, considering all of them were wearing armors.
Oh my god. Okay, look. I know you might be thinking that we're bashing the shit out of this movie, which let's face it, we practically are, but look, we don't hate DC. Do you hate DC?
No, I love DC.
Do you hate DC?
Nope.
Exactly. We love these characters. We stated it before at the beginning of this freaking review that we do not hate DC. But sometimes DC just needs some tough love. But let's show some positivity within the movie. Like what good came out of the movie, at least from the ultimate cut we've seen so far? Let's start off with Steven once again.
All right. I do like that they actually cleared up on some things. Like the wheelchair was actually lead lined, so he wasn't able to see through it. Since,
as
you know, from
spoilers, by the way.
Which from the comics, hey, you told me that too. From the comics, lead wasn't able to get through Krypton. What Krypton couldn't get through something like lead,
he couldn't
see through it. So that's why we were able to see more with that lady at the beginning after the whole desert town attack scene, and we actually found out that it was actually staged and she was paid all this other stuff, and his parents were alive, and so much more. A lot more things were given more context. So it doesn't fix the movie that much, but it does make it a lot more cohesive. So I really got to thank them for doing that.
Yeah, and the length of it does get a little bit long in the tooth, but that doesn't mean that, like we said, we don't hate DC and all that kind of stuff.
Actually, if anything, from what I'm hearing right now, it seems DC's actually doing better in terms of comics than Marvel is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other thing. The whole DC Rebirth thing is pretty good. I mean, I love the new Batman stuff. I mean, I love the New 52 Snyder run of Batman, but they're going into some cool places with the new stuff. But aside from that, I think the movie, once again, gives you those amazing fight scenes, those little nods to the comics that you're like, on a visual level. I think when it comes to a plot level, when they're starting to go into the comics, they tend to miss the point. But when they're getting the visual points down, they're really hitting it. Batman with the lightning behind him doing the pose. I mean, just the suit in general. The
suit from The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Him in the sky, or the armor suit.
Yeah, visual-wise, some of them actually do look like they were lifted straight from the comics.
Exactly. So I think those moments are
great job for doing that.
Also, the fighting scenes, I think Man of Steel and this movie kind of give me a lot of the fighting the DBZ movie I've always wanted in my life. People flying around through the air, punching them out.
Goku, Dragon Ball and Superman with the whole Goku versus Superman. Superman is better. Sorry.
It's...
wow, I'm going to get hate from the...
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Come at me, bro. Bring it on!
Okay, as for me... well, pretty much it's a combination of what you both practically said. I love how they kind of managed to fill in the gap of many glaring issues that the theatrical version had. I liked how they finally gave more screen time to Clark Kent, but then it doesn't justify the actual Batman and Superman fight at the end. Like, I mean, like, it was really cool to see him doing all this investigating. This is something I wanted to see in Man of Steel, especially. Yeah, having him to do all this investigating, go through like various files here and there. That's something that I wanted to see done right, and they did do it right, if given what they've showcased. Or like, oh crap. As well as like have. Hold on, I'm kind of losing focus here for a moment. Give me a second.
Take your time.
Yeah, like like I said, the action, like pretty much the stuff I did like about the theatrical cut, such as Ben Affleck as Batman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Like most of the cast, minus Jesse Eisenberg, because well, fuck him. Everything was fine from action standpoint, visually beautiful. Cinematography is just out of this world.
Music standpoint?
Music is great.
Music is
Junkie
great.
XL and Hans Zimmer. I mean, that's a deadly
After Mad Max
combination
Fury
right there,
Road,
but
and this movie, anything I see Junkie XL and I'm gonna love.
he was Deadpool. He did Deadpool too.
Oh, yeah, that was
he
great,
did
too.
a lot of different movies.
Oh god, like the music was really good. The action was also very good. The performances were good. Even if Henry Cavill still gave off this monotone look, but given due to what he was given, it worked, I guess. But remember, this is still a film made by David S. Goyer and Zack Snyder.
Yeah, sometimes
so
when it
you
comes to
can't-
writers
you can't
and
justify
directors, you have to put maybe a little bit of trust in like how you want to do it, or the material you have to be given. You have to find some way to work around it.
Exactly. Now imagine if this film was written by Chris Terrio alone, without help from Goyer whatsoever, and directed by Ben Affleck. This movie would have been a whole lot better. Think about that.
And actually would have posed a major threat to Marvel. Like, oh shit, now they're catching up.
Exactly. But no, we got what we got right now.
And now they're really like, haha, nice try, DC.
Yeah, I mean, I spent the last 3 years super hyped. Ever since they released the picture of Ben Affleck in that suit, I was basically like, oh my god, they made the suit from Dark Knight Returns. Like, this is going to be amazing. The first trailer came out. They're showing all this stuff. They're giving you those little nods. They're showing some of the action, some cool lines.
Until that one trailer that Jimmy Kimmel showcased. If you know which one I'm talking
The
about.
second trailer.
Oh my god.
And I think that is where my hype for the movie started to wane. And then I came...
Back with the
pun
final
intended.
trailer.
That was basically about as well thought of a trailer as the final or second to last trailer for Terminator Genesis.
Oh my god, but we're not this is not about Terminator at all.
I know, but I'm just saying,
But
like, in terms
I
of
know.
spoiling major plot
I know what
points.
you're saying, but overall, like, Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, while it does add more to offer, gives you more of a fresh, cohesive look of what they're trying to give, it still doesn't change your if anybody hated Batman v Superman and was expecting the Ultimate Edition to be a lot better than it was, trust me, your opinion's not going to change whatsoever. You hate it, you're still going to hate it. If you loved it, you might love it even more. It's your opinion after all.
I think I'd recommend if somehow they put it on Netflix or some other streaming service, like, again, the digital version or whatever, if you can get it for free or I don't know.
It's not really necessarily worth the Blu-ray purchase, honestly, unless it was like you happen to pass it by via Netflix or any streaming service. You should be fine for that, but it's not worth owning, like, say, The Dark Knight
Right.
or the Star Wars Force Awakens. It's not that level of ownage, if you know what I mean. But
Some would argue with you on that second statement there, but...
okay, fine.
So yeah, if you still want to pick it up, then that's totally fine. You're free
By
to
all
use whatever
means,
your
yeah.
money you want. But just a recommendation, while it definitely does fix a lot of things, it's not going to do that much. So
let's-
you're better off with whatever other movies.
Why,
are gonna come
why don't
out.
we give like a final verdict then?
Yeah, let's just hope that Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and the official Justice League movie fares way better than this movie.
Yeah.
So, for me, I'm going to have to give this a C minus at best. Because, like, there were still some moments where, like, okay, like I said, the action was good, visually good, cinematography, performance minus Jesse Eisenberg. The look, the feel was really well handled. It was just the plot, editing, and pacing that was the complete downgrade of this movie. So C- it is. How about you?
It might be a tad bit higher, but not by that much. Just probably around a C plus or whatever. Not going anything higher. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it a lot more around this time. Like, the action is still good, the cinematography is good. I like how, in terms of the visuals, it looked like they really did take them straight out of the comics. The music is good. The performances, some of them are good, especially like Ben Affleck as Batman, Jeremy Irons as Alfred, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, which I will admit, I wish I saw more of her, but the scenes we did get, she was still awesome.
Sure, you did wish
and
you
so
saw
forth,
more of her.
but it's most of it is still just not interesting, or at least not handled well. Some things still either don't make sense or making me think, what kind of crack were these guys smoking? One or two performances were just bad. Like, again, Jesse Eisenberg was a freaking Roger Rabbit if he was a supervillain, as Nostalgia Critic pointed out once. Henry Cavill, while he's okay as Superman, I wish he actually, smiled or emote as opposed to looking like a cyborg or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, C plus. And like I said, if you want to pick it up, fine, but as a record, for me, I think you're probably just waiting off for other movies that might be coming around this time, like if Civil War finally does come out on DVD or Blu-ray.
I'm not really a fan of like a regular grading scale. If I had to give it something out of 5 stars, I would probably give the Ultimate Edition 3 out of 5.
That's
or
fair.
Like
That's good.
I would probably give the theatrical version a 2 out of 5. So 3 for the Ultimate Edition would be. I think to me this Ultimate Edition is the definition of a 3 out of 5 movie.
Pretty much.
It takes itself too seriously. It has a lot of weak points. It has its high points, but overall, I didn't come out of the movie feeling any better than I did coming out of the theatrical version. I mean, me and Raj both commented that it really felt like 3 hours.
Yeah.
It is long. It is really long, and
I will admit, for me, I feel like my perception of the time was a little bit weird, because when I saw the movie, it was long, but it just felt like more like a regular movie time, not like, say, God, I can't believe I'm saying this. Just for shits and giggles for some folks, I saw Diversion a long time ago, and oh my God, I thought that movie
I'm out.
That took freaking forever, and I felt that was way even more than Batman vs. Superman. Even the Ultimate Cut, I was like, oh my God, just end! I have to go somewhere!
yeah, so, I'd say 3 out of 5.
And your movie is... Yeah. Your movie is... Can I please stop?
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Your movie is pretty bad when one of your stars, Jeremy Irons, say that it deserves the negative reviews. There's an obvious problem there. You got to fix your franchise. Yeah, this is concerning.
Hell, I think even this line from The Lion King, which also had Jeremy Irons, fit the best. I'm surrounded by idiots.
Pretty much, yeah. It fits the overall description of DC's situation with these iconic heroes. Okay, I guess I'm pretty much done talking about this fucking movie. I'm officially putting it in the vault. It's official. Sachin is 3 stars. USC to C+, minus C-. It just doesn't work well for me. But if you want to see the movie yourself, go right ahead. It's your, like I said, it's your opinion. You form it up however way you can. But this is our initial thoughts. And this is practically the end of the review. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Raj Chetta.
My name is Steve Murdoch.
And I'm Sachin.
And we hope you enjoyed.
Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe.
That too.
Check out his written description in the comments, by the way, or in the description of the video below.
Yeah, well, if you want to read my review or my written reviews on Facebook, The link, like he said, the link is in the description below. Thank you. Have a good day or good afternoon or
And
good
stay
night.
awesome.
And stay awesome. Yeah.